Welcome friends, LostScarf here, and it's time for the Overwatch Hero Guide 2! Zenyatta! That's right, Genji's master is here, and it's a pretty fun hero to play. He's got the highest DPS out of supports at range. Close range goes to Symmetra. He can heal someone and also attack someone, and also put a damage buff on an enemy at the same time for his teammates to just kill someone faster. He can do a lot of things. You kind of have to be in two minds at the same time when you're playing him, so it can be a little complicated, but he is a fun hero to play. And beginners, you should definitely learn how to play him, because sometimes there's things that Zenyatta can do that the other supports can't do for a given situation. Now, as always, this is more geared towards beginners. We're going to talk about just his abilities, where he comes from, just kind of things you should do in combat with him for a good idea on what you should do with him, what he does in modes, and of course some tips and tricks, and then wrap it all up at the end in conclusion. There's a lot of things that beginners should understand and do really well with Zenyatta. That's the goal there. Advanced players, maybe there's something you don't notice that you didn't realize that would help you here. If not, and you see something that's missing, you should say so in the comments so that viewers have more to learn from. The more we learn about the game, the better we get at the game, and the better it is for everybody, because then you have stronger opponents and stronger teammates. So let's get going. Who is Zenyatta? So his real name is Tekhartha Zenyatta. Age 20, a wandering monk who meets with people to help them deal with their inner struggles to find inner peace. He is Genji's master. He helped Genji come to terms with his cyborg existence, and Genji's more at peace than he was before. In conversations, it's shown that Zenyatta also wants to help Hanzo with his inner demons, but he wants none of it. So Zenyatta is a healer, but he is also a capable damage dealer. When it comes to healing, his heal is the third strongest. When it comes to damage, he has the highest DPS at mid to long range, out of the support heroes with the potential to do 119 damage per headshot with his Discord orb on his target at any range. Symmetra beats him at close range with 120 damage per second when her beam is fully charged at close range. Zenyatta can kill 17 heroes in 3 to 6 shots, 2 to 4 with Discord orb. Zenyatta has the ability to heal an ally while attacking the enemy, putting damage emphasis on higher HP targets with his Discord orb. Even if an enemy catches Zenyatta alone, if you're accurate and agile enough, everyone falls to Zenyatta. Then there's his ultimate, a strong 300 per second heal that has few counters. If you need a strong push or a counter to channeling ultimates, Zenyatta can do the job. Zenyatta's abilities. First up is his Orb of Destruction, that's 46 damage per shot, 92 damage on headshots. No damage fall off at range. This is important to keep in mind. You can attack from any distance and you don't have to worry about damage. Next ability is Orb Volley. Now you hold this to charge up multiple orbs to fire in fast succession. You can charge up from 1 up to 5 orbs. Does the same damage as Orb of Destruction, just shoots it in fast succession after a charge up. Next up is the Orb of Harmony. This is a single heal placed on an ally. Heals 30 HP per second and only leaves the ally when they're out of sight for 3 seconds, or the orb is given to someone else, or they die, or Zenyatta dies. Then there's the Orb of Discord. This is a curse placed on a single enemy. Causes the enemy to take 30% extra damage from all sources, only leaves the enemy if they are not in line of sight for 3 seconds. The orb is placed on someone else, they die, or Zenyatta dies. Then there's finally his ultimate, Transcendence. For 6 seconds, Zenyatta heals 300 HP per second to all allies around him. He also has a higher movement speed at this time. Zenyatta is immune to damage and stuns, but he can be pinned by Reinhardt and pulled by Roadhog, so keep that in mind. Zenyatta in combat. Now, generally in combat, you'll be semi-close to your team. You're going to be attacking the enemy team from the back line. You want a good vision of your teammates and the enemy team, so you know who to put your Harmony Orb on. You want to make sure it's at least on somebody at all times. And for the same time, you want to put a Discord Orb on someone on the other team at the same time. You want to make sure those balls are always out, and then you're constantly firing your balls at the enemy. With enough well-placed shots, you can help your team push forward through healing and killing. Should an enemy flank you, you can turn around and Discord Orb and shoot them to death if you react fast enough and are accurate enough to take them out. This includes someone like Winston who likes to go in the back line. If you're fast enough, you can go ahead and put the Discord Orb on him and shoot those balls to his face and he just dies from you. That's what you can do to Winston. Now, if your team isn't able to push forward, Transcendence can be used to give them the sufficient healing to make a strong push forward. Transcendence is also useful in countering big attacks from the enemy and healing out of certain damaging ultimates. Mode duties. So in Capture, Hybrid, and Payload on attack, you're going to heal your team where needed, Discord the enemy where needed, and throw your balls where needed. If the balls aren't flying, you aren't doing it right. Now you're going to watch out for your flanks while helping your team push forward, help killing flanking enemies where needed. When capturing the point, stay on the edge away from where the enemy would come from. So you're helping your team capture the point, but you're leaving yourself not open to the enemy team to get killed. At least that's what your goal is. Now for Payload, you hide behind the cart while orbing and attacking. And you're using Transcendence to help your team push forward, or to help stop a big attack on your team. It's pretty simple like that with Zenyatta. Just stay back and just do your job. As always, put the balls on everybody and make sure they're constantly on them and you'll do fine. Now on defense, it's the same as attack, but you're trying to hold a choke point or capture point this time. When the enemy team gets close, kill them. And if they're on the capture point and you're heading towards capture point because maybe you died or something, just throw your balls out there because you don't have to worry about distance on your balls, so you can still do some effective damage even far away when floating towards your point. Now when it comes to payload, maintain your distance, throw your balls, keep allies healed, and the enemy's dead. You have no reason to help contest the cart unless it's a desperate situation. Like maybe they got the cart and they're about to get on the point, it's in overtime, maybe you can just get to the cart, maybe you can get your ultimate on it, you can hold it for a couple seconds. That's something you can consider doing, but don't just do it if there's no desperate situation at all. It's not worth dying. You should be building up your ultimate or keeping teammates alive as they're trying to get to the point or something like that. Now for control, same strategy as always. Heal your allies, discord the enemy, and throw your balls in their faces all day every day. Try to kill the enemy so there's less to deal with when it's time to capture the point. Keep your distance when fighting while helping maintain dominance on the point. If you're taking the point, attack from range while keeping orbs on the people. And if you're on the point, just, shoot those balls at the enemy. Stay away from where you think they'll be attacking from. Keep your eye on the flanks. Just be careful about getting killed because you can make a big difference with that ultimate at a desperate situation. Tips and tricks with Zenyatta. And the first tip has to be, don't be out in the open. Now what I mean by that is not necessarily you should just be hiding behind walls and just heal. What I mean is, there's got to be a shield in front of you so you can just throw balls through that. Maybe D.VA's doing a defense matrix. There's got to be things in front of you that can protect you while you're attacking the enemy, while you're putting the orb of heal on your teammates, putting the orb of discord on your enemy, just keeping things going. Just make sure there's something in the way so you don't get killed, because if you die, well, you can't help. Next tip has to do with HP. If it falls below 100, you should hide in regen. You have 150 shield HP, so you should hide when you have 50% of your HP so you can just get it back to full, because you can get one hit by certain attacks at 100 HP. You don't want that to happen, so don't let yourself get killed like I said before. Another is, make sure healing orb is always on somebody. It's really not good if you forget to put it on someone. Just have it constantly healing, or have it have a buffer on someone. Just, if they start getting hit, they'll start getting healed. That's a good thing to do. Next is, Discord Orb gives you vision of the enemy behind walls for 3 seconds. Now this is because when you lose line of sight of an enemy for 3 seconds, the orb will come back to you, but it shows you where your orb is at all times, so you know where the enemy is, which will give you a vague idea if you have to attack them, or it can tell your teammates where they are. Next up is, when facing an enemy one-on-one, try to get behind cover, charge up, volley, and then hit the enemy with all 5 shots. Like if you know someone's coming after you, charge up, go around the corner, and then bam, hit them with all 5. You'll likely kill them because a lot of heroes will die to that. Next step is, try to remember where your orbs are at all times. Remember what hero it's on, remember what enemy the Discord orb is on. It's pretty important to just keep that in mind. Just always have them on somebody and remembering where they are so you know what could be using help and what should be getting hit for your teammates. Next up is, never stop throwing your balls at the enemy. Just keep throwing your balls. There's no reason to stop shooting unless you're pulling a heal real quick or doing transcendence. Just keep attacking the enemy because you don't have to worry about distance drop. Just keep the pressure on them. Now these next tips have to do with his ultimate, and the first one is, Zenyatta ultimate counters this: channeling ultimates at range and general enemy fire. And what I mean by channeling would be like Roadhog's ultimate, another one would be Pharah's ultimate, Soldier 76's ultimate, just ultimates like that you can deal with. Using your ultimate, they will not get overpowered. But here's ultimates that counter Zenyatta's ultimate, and that is exploding instant damage ultimates like D.Va, Junkrat, Tracer, and McCree. That Deadeye instantly kills. D.Va's ultimate does 1,000 damage, that will kill everybody. Junkrat's ultimate does 600 damage, that'll kill everybody. Tracer's ultimate does 400, that'll kill a lot of the squishier people. Then there's channeling ultimates at close range. So Roadhog and Pharah can kill if they're super close. They'll overpower the 300 HP because they're just hitting so fast at that close range. Another thing to keep in mind is concentrated damage on a single target that deals at full HP. So if a lot of people are attacking one single person and they're doing more damage than 300, obviously they'll die. And last one is Anna Grenade. Her grenade makes it that your heal will not heal other people. So she can hit you with it, doesn't do anything. But if she hits your teammates with it, they can't be healed. So that's something to keep in mind, especially if you're using your ultimate to keep certain people alive, and if they got grenade on them, well then it's going to be a useless ultimate. And lastly is one more thing to keep in mind, that is, Zenyatta and Zarya's ultimates cancel each other out. Usually when Zarya puts your ultimate out to get your team killed, you can do your ultimate to cancel it out. But, let's say you're using your ultimate for a big push, she can also use her ultimate to hold your team down so that your ultimate is useless. That's something to keep in mind when you're playing Zarya and when you're playing Zenyatta. In conclusion, like said before, if the balls aren't flying, you aren't playing Zenyatta right. Always have someone healing, always have someone with the Discord orb when possible, and never stop throwing your balls at the enemy, preferably in their face. Zenyatta may be a support, but he's no less dangerous than any of the DPS heroes. Now that is the guide for Zenyatta right there. As always, just share these guides. The more knowledge everyone gathers, the better it is. Just knowing how to play some more heroes, that's always a good thing. That's just great for everybody. Subscribe to the channel for more videos of guides, and also just videos of Overwatch in general. We do a lot of gameplay here, and it's a lot of just what we do right and what we do wrong, so there's a lot to learn from there. And then the next guide is going to be Torbjorn. That's going to be a very tricky guide to do because he's definitely a defense hero, He can do some attack, but it is very tricky. You need a team that wants to do it with you, and certain things he's just better served not being there, but there are maps where he can be useful. So it's going to be interesting what we talk about in that guide. So there we go, that right there is the guide. I had fun making it, hope you had fun watching it and learning from it, and that's what it's all about, isn't it? Having fun. Thanks for coming by, and see you next time.